everybody, please just coming through loud and clear, which is good, which is what we want. So welcome, guys, to the second Whaleshares Blue Report show here, of course, on the Whaleshares server. It's good to have your company. Thank you very much for coming along. Got another interesting show for you tonight. I hope you guys will think. I'm going to pass over in a minute to Chief Mapster for some coffee and crypto. And later on, we're then going to be hearing from Savo and friends. He's got some more musicians, talented musicians, he's going to be introducing to us. So looking forward to that, along with some music, of course, just to liven things up. And then the guest, the star guest of the show is the inimitable Bug IQ. Really looking forward to that. Very interesting character, born entertainer. Is what I call him, and he is, and he's a very talented guy. So we're going to be talking to him about his journey in Steam and Whaleshares later on. But first of all, I'm going to just start, as I intend to start every Whaleshares Blue Report show, and that's just with an update of what's been going on in the Whaleshares community, stuff that I think you might need to know, and people further up the chain have asked me to let you know. So I'm going to just crack on with it. The Whaleshares Blue Report news segment. I need some news music now to really introduce this. Maybe we can work on that. But for the moment, I haven't. It's just my voice. So just let you guys know, there's been tons of work done this week, the past week, on the new front end for the Whaleshares, the new Whaleshares platform. It's getting close to completion, I'm told by Walrus. It is getting closer to completion, which is fantastic. We've also started a Telegram group, a Whaleshares Telegram group. For those of you who are on Telegram, there's a link there. I shall put that up. Might be handy for some of you. Check it out. I should also just say we are being live streamed as well on YouTube by PowerPix. So just to let you guys know that we are being live streamed as well. Oh, well done, Doctor Who fan. I thought you might. Awesome. So there it is. Right. On another note, I just want to talk about the development team, because hopefully we're looking into getting one of the developers on the show next week or the week after, just to give us really an idea of what it's like to build a whole new chain, because it must require a lot of expertise. And I would like to know more about that. I think it might be interesting for you guys to learn more about that as well. So we're hoping to get that sorted. Someone, hopefully from the core development team, will be coming on. But that kind of neatly brings me on to what me and Patalincho were talking about earlier. One of our developers, fantastic guy, Vit, or if I'm now going to pronounce his full name, Vit Kolesnik. I hope I've done that justice. I hope I've done him justice, I should say. He is one of our developers. And what's interesting is that he has set up his own token. And I just want to briefly touch on this, because Fuzzy's spoken about this before. And I do want to talk about this because it's really important. You know, the new chain is going to be an ecosystem where there is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't consider at least having your own token. And I'm just going to put a link up a moment to a post. It's one of Vit's posts, and he set up his own token, as I say. And what he did was he set up his own token based around the writers that we have in the community and the poets amongst us. And he's appealed to them, and he's trying to help these guys. You know, there's a lot of aspiring writers on the platform, and Vit's trying to help these guys out with some daily bread. Hence the D-Bread token he's made. Isn't that great? He set up a D-Bread token to help these guys get some, as he calls it, their daily bread, you know, to help them out. It's a fantastic idea. It's a great token. But that will be a good example or a case study, if you like. If you guys are thinking about setting up your own token, and I honestly think for those of you who are serious about creating their own token, give that a read, because it will give you a good guide, really. He's clearly appealing to one segment of the community, and that's what you need to consider. You know, he's built his token around a community, and that really is a solid way forward. He's doing it. It's a great idea, a great token. So, as I say, if you want sort of an example, that would be a good post to have a look at for you to start thinking about what you might need to get a successful token. And as you know, you need mass participation. You need mass adoption of your token. So you need interest. You need to build that interest in your token, and that's what Vit did. He's built it around emerging writers and poets, and as we know, there's lots of them on the Steemit community. So fantastic post, good idea. Hopefully we might even be able to get him on the show, but I just wanted to touch on that because me and Patalincio were talking about that before, and it's off the back of what Fuzzy said actually last week. The new platform is going to be a much more it's going to be a more conducive environment for creating your token and having a successful token. And for those of you that are hodling your whale shares, keep doing it. Keep giving yourself that best start you can give yourself on the new chain. The more whale shares you have, the more you're going to get in the share drop. So give yourself that best start on the new chain and consider tokens. So your own token. So there it is. Just wanted to touch on that. Something for you to consider. Food for thought. No pun intended on the bread there, but food for thought. Get thinking about it. Hodl forever, Stephen Wood, indeed. Bread for thought, absolutely. Bread for thought. Doctor Who fan, you should hodl at least some of your whale shares. Don't give them all away. That got to be a little bit self-serving, shall we say? Okay, I think that wraps up the first segment. I just want to say on EasyDex, a little bit of good news there. In fact, some great news. The BTC bridge is now fully functional, so you can get your BTC over into EasyDex, which is fantastic. And by the way, for those of you who need to withdraw fiat, or beg your pardon, need to withdraw some crypto sometimes to get some fiat into your bank account. We all need to do it from time to time. Well, I do anyway. EasyDex has really helped me out there massively. I can now withdraw 500 euros, and this is for the European members, I guess I'm talking about here, because things like Coinbase don't cater so well for people like me in Britain. I need pound sterling. It's always the problem. But EasyDex is making life easier for me and Europeans, because 500 euros I can get, and it'll only cost me 20 euros to get that into my British bank account, converted into pound sterling as well. So 480 euros I end up with. You're talking around about 2% there, which is a fantastic rate, really is. So interesting stuff. Great platform indeed. So I hear Steam and SBD is on the way, and I think LTC not too far behind that, but Walrus will be able to elaborate on that. But it's all on the way. So good stuff happening on EasyDex for sure. Certainly making my life a lot easier, and I'm very grateful to EasyDex for that. Right, I think that's it. I'm going to now hand over to Chief Mapster. I believe it's his birthday, unless he was just joking around with me, but I think it's his birthday. But yet he's still here. So, but he's going to jump off after that because he's got a big schedule to work through. So wish him happy birthday. Chief Mapster, are you there for another cup of your coffee and crypto? You are there. Fantastic. You're going to get on the mic, I hope. You are unmuted. You've just muted yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Didn't want to do that. But yeah, it is my birthday. My birthday's 6/7/89. So yeah, I had to make some time for this though, because it's important, and I definitely appreciate you having me on. So I'm definitely here. I'm glad to be here.
Well, happy birthday, and thank you so much for fitting us in. That's really nice of you. So happy birthday. I hope you're going to have a great day, and I hope you're going to have a great time after you've done this show. But that's commitment for you. So thank you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But yeah, I guess I can go on with the segment. Last segment, we talked about, the benefits of BitShares. And another two of Dan's creations is Steem and EOS. So I was going to talk about a little bit more about EOS and Steem, just to lay the foundation in case anybody was wondering more things about this, the three cryptocurrency that Dan created, and also what the synergy looks like with Whaleshares and EasyDex in the future and right now, just to kind of give us a foundation, and then we can work forward with more different cryptocurrencies and blockchains once we get the foundation of these three awesome blockchains down. But most of you guys are familiar with Steem because most of you are from Steemit. But Steem has some of the greatest benefits of any blockchain right now. The main one, one of the main ones right now is the capacity. It's really going to be able to make sure it lasts long term, but it can handle 1.5 million of transactions so far, and that's very little of their capacity. So Steam can really grow and scale once more and more of this mainstream media and mainstream attention comes to Steam. And I think it's starting to come with more articles being written about it all over the world. But one thing that it has is the capacity to do these things and to scale. So once millions and millions of people want to use Steam as their cryptocurrency of choice, they will be able to, because of the capacity that was created by Dan and the team that created Steam. Another big thing about Steam that I really think is going to help bring mainstream adoption with businesses as well, and the people that are not really patient anymore because they're used to instant stuff, is the instant transfers. The speed is ridiculously fast with Steam. I'm sure most of you guys have noticed once you send SBD or Steam to someone on Steam, or even just transferring it out, it's really, really fast. And that's what a lot of the mainstream attention needs. It needs that instant fastness, instant quickness. And then businesses, if you really want to be able to use cryptocurrency as a payment, and some of these businesses like Starbucks just waiting in line, McDonald's, you need it to be fast. And so it's definitely something that's faster than some of the mobile payments right now, the mobile apps and the different problems they have right now. So be able to do, pay with something within 3 seconds. That's something that, Steam can really grow with these businesses, and that, these businesses help with adoption. And obviously, the more businesses adopt it, the higher the price is going to go for Steam and SBD, probably most likely SBD. So that's something beneficial for everybody here in this room who's familiar with Steam in the beginning, or at least its early times. One of the biggest things I think people maybe take for granted is there's no fees. There's no fees with Steam. And in this world of nickel and diming and bank fees here and transfer fees here, ATM fees here, people are really sick of fees. So when they hear about cryptocurrency, it's a new kind of way of doing money. A lot of people really wish that it didn't have any fees. I know, and even like BitShares has small fees, but it's just that word, no fees. It really helps people get attracted to it. They don't have to spend any extra money, and when you transfer, it really encourages transfers, and that means the velocity, which is the velocity of money, is important with a currency. The velocity will go up because you can almost have as many transfers as you want, as long as the capacity can handle it. True, but so that's one thing that you really need in the currency is you need velocity, and so the no fees definitely helps with the velocity, and will in the future as well as more and more people find out about it. And one of the biggest things I've noticed with Steam is the community behind it. That's the fourth biggest benefit I have listed. It might be the top one, but it's because if you look at these other cryptocurrencies, they don't have what Steam has. If you look at Steam and all the projects such as Utopia, D2, DSound, all these projects, they don't have it. In the Whaleshares community, of course, and the EasyDex community, they don't have these communities that are helping each other learn about cryptocurrency, spreading the knowledge about different cryptocurrencies, and self-Steam. So if you look at like maybe the Moneros of the world, some of these top 20 cryptocurrencies, top 100 cryptocurrencies, they have a hard time getting traction because they don't have a big community behind them. And that's not a problem with Steam. We have thousands and thousands of people using Steam it every day, and spreading the word about it. And these communities are forming, and they're becoming larger and larger. The Whaleshares community has been around since the beginning, of Steam, and with Walrus and Fuzzy starting it, it really was one of the ones that I was attracted to right away, and it made me feel at home, and it helped me learn about different aspects of cryptocurrency that I might not have been familiar with right away. So having communities, support communities like Whaleshares, and a lot of these communities are incredible. And it's not. I know some of these posts people write are marketing posts, and they're trying to sell something, but it seems like it's not as much as these other cryptocurrencies. If you look at like Sabo said, you look at these Telegram groups. They're really trying to market and sell it. They're not really building community. And with Steam, it seems like a lot of people. There's little sub communities such as SMA that Sabo and I created. Really people that and the Whaleshares and EasyDecks that are really becoming homes for these people that have been brought in by Steemit. So I really think it's a really big benefit that Steem has. And another thing, the last two, really help. I would say maybe in the future is SMTs if they do really come out. It's been a slow ride for the SMTs, and they kind of overpromised, underdelivered with it so far. But if it does come out, they could be really a huge benefit, kind of like a hook for Steem and Steemit, because being able to have different tokens and different websites is huge, and it will really people wonder how did you set this up? What is the backbone of these tokens? There's a lot of websites like Slashdot that are news sites that have comment sections that really would need a token. And so be able to have SMT and people being aware of SMTs and using this is a great hook for Steem because it'll be built on the Steem blockchain. And the last benefit I want to cover, I don't want to talk too long, but because everybody loves Steem, is how it's open source. Dan paid extra money before he left to make sure the code was open source. Because of this, a lot of projects can thrive without starting all over again. So if people want to spread the power of Steem and also the awareness of Steem by using different projects or different project names, they can. You look at the D-Tubes, which is becoming a big hook for Steem, the D-Sounds, Utopia, some D-Live. They're really huge hooks. And a lot of these projects couldn't have been done if it was open source. It would have taken more time, more resources, and it might have been not as big as hooks. So right now, the open source nature of Steem really, really helps. But let me, transition over to EOS, which is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with. Dan created.
Let me just, sorry, Chief. Let me just jump in for a minute, if you don't mind. So just taking that point a minute. If Dan hadn't secured that open source deal as such, would it have been more difficult, therefore, to build the new Whaleshares platform, for example?
I think it would have. A Walrus would be a better person to ask that because he's developing. But the open source nature of Steem and Steemit allows people to model their projects off of it if they can't use their own code. So that saves time and effort and also resources. Yeah, see, closer possible.
Okay, yeah. Oh wow.
It's like Dan worked really hard and he got to the next level, and he could have closed the door and made people work just as hard as he did to get to the next level, but he kept the door open for everybody.
So we love Dan, right?
Yeah, you gotta love that. And you gotta love Dan. You gotta love that he saw in this future that the Whaleshares can thrive because all these other projects can thrive because of this code that he worked on. And other developers worked, but he was the head guy. So it's really great. And I didn't know if you had any more questions about Steem before I transition to EOS real quick.
No, go for it, dude.
Thank you. And it's awesome hearing your voice, silky smooth voice, as always.
Thank you, you charmer.
I can't wait for a ringtone with your voice on it.
Oh, that could make me some bucks there, couldn't it?
Hey, exactly. And maybe you could have a little synergy with your token on Whaleshares. You never know.
Oh, perfect. Now you're talking.
But yeah, it's just one of the biggest things. I think one of the reasons why I believe in EOS so much is that Dan had two blockchains that are kind of proof of work or proof of concept, but proof of he can do the work, and that's Bitshares and Steem. He built those. It shows that he has skills, he has drive, and he can build large platforms using cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So EOS is his third one. Which is incredible for me to know that this guy has already created two very successful blockchains and communities around it, and now he's building this third one. One of the reasons why I'm pretty behind EOS is because of that, of the person who does it and the proof of his work. He's a great resume. I'm British. It's what we do. Hey, Americans drink tea too. But one of the biggest benefits, I think, for EOS is that it's really bringing more control to the developers. Right now, if you look at maybe the iTunes and Androids, where you get most of the apps in the world, those platforms, they have the control. They can shut down apps almost at any time. they can make developers jump through hoops to get their app back on the server or back on the platforms, and it really takes away the control of these developers. And for me, developers do so much work and they create these things, they might as well have the control to make sure it maintains correctly and grows correctly. So you don't really have to worry about losing 33% of your revenue if you're building on EOS because of this platform, like you do with iTunes and Apple, or losing some of the revenue to Google as well. It really eliminates the friction for these developers. So it's less hurdles to jump for developers, plus more money in developers' pockets. So it's really going to attract the developers. EOS will, and that you need to attract the developers if you want great projects and great communities around it, because they have the skills to build the foundation for these communities. It's yeah, you got 6 EOS, that's great. It's 6 more than you. It's great. It's 6 more than 0. I would hold those as well. And the second thing is, a lot of these developers on Ethereum, if you saw CryptoKitties, they built an app that worked, but it kind of slowed down. The interface, the UI wasn't as good because the technical capabilities of the platform that it was built on. EOS will not and does not have those problems. It has fast speed, as you can see from his past creations with Steam and BitShares, and it has superior technical capabilities. So it can handle the traffic, it can handle the capacity that these projects are going to attract. So if CryptoKitties was built on EOS, it would be a fully functioning app, and it might have went global mainstream. It might have been one of the biggest hooks the cryptocurrency world could ever have. But because it was built on a platform that didn't have the technical capabilities, it kind of lost that. And I really think that's one of the things that's going to help EOS grow, is one of these apps are going to go big. And because it can actually function and operate, I'm not saying it'll be as big as Pokemon Go or anything like that, but something like phenomenal like that would really bring attention to EOS. So I'm thinking that's one of the ways that EOS will grow, is one of these games, one of these apps will be the hook for the mainstream. The nice thing, another thing that's great about EOS is it has no fees, just like Steam. And what are these cards you talk about? And so they don't need fees. All you have to have is some EOS in your wallet to make sure that you have enough bandwidth to send these transactions and to operate in the network. Which it's good because you can market it as no fees, and that's a huge hook for people. And so that's huge. I know you have to have bandwidth, which makes sense because eventually most of these businesses, these internet service providers, are going to start charging a lot for bandwidth. So the fact that you have to have tokens to cover your bandwidth is something that's going to happen in the future, and EOS is just trying to get ahead of it. So just have to have enough tokens to cover your bandwidth of the transaction you want to do. And you could have those to hold so they can rise in investment. So you're really not getting charged nickel and dime every transaction. And another thing is that it's pretty hard to copy. Ethereum's trying to copy what EOS is doing, but EOS uses a lot of different things, such as a new virtual mining machine based off WebAssembly, which gives them faster speed, and different things about EOS that maybe if they try to, say Ethereum try to copy it, a lot of the apps wouldn't work on Ethereum right now. They would have to transition into a new development, add different things, and that would be pretty tough for the Ethereum. They don't want to lose the developers and projects they have right now. So EOS, will be hard to copy. So that's kind of one of the things that people worry about is, can it be copied? But it's going to be pretty hard to copy. And I guess some of the biggest things, because a lot of the people on this platform are for anarchy and less reliance on governments, is that it has a constitution. EOS has a constitution that you sign when you become a part of it. And what this does is basically create a new jurisdiction that handles contract disputes. So, some of these judges and some of these countries have power because they can freeze your assets. They can come after you because they have the legal jurisdiction to do so. And EOS, by signing the constitution, you're moving jurisdiction to a new jurisdiction where these outside forces, such as judges and other different power sources, can't really rule on your behalf. So that's another huge thing about EOS. So I guess I'll just leave it at that and see if Freedom has any questions or if anybody else has any questions.
Yeah, I just want to ask. It's odd because in terms of what apps will appear on EOS, obviously very early days. But you touched on. I don't know if it was you who touched on it, but these Steam monsters, these cards. You know what I'm talking about? They seem to be gaining traction, right?
Yeah, I think that's what the Bernie Sanders is pushing right now.
Right. Okay. I mean, is something like that valuable to EOS or not?
I think it would be, in the fact that you need people to interact and talk. Because I know that I've actually seen people talking about these Steam monsters and other social media platforms, and so it kind of encourages interaction. We need interaction. We need people talking about the different blockchains. So I think it would be a benefit if EOS had something on it as well. And I think that maybe that's something that they can kind of look after Steam monsters, because it's definitely getting some traction. You see it everywhere around Steam and Steam. So I think it definitely is a good hook, because some people really, really love those games, like love the cards. And like LCR put out, there's a lot of different projects being built on EOS, but to get the mainstream, we need something that's simple, that's easy, and fun. So something like this card game, Steam Monsters on EOS, or maybe like a CryptoKitties on EOS, would be great, because it would cover those three things and it would work properly because it has the capacity to do it. So I think it would be a great benefit.
What would you personally like to see as a good hook on EOS?
I would love to see just a game like CryptoKitties where people can earn. I guess the fact is, I want a game that you can earn cryptocurrency by playing it. Because you can market it as earn money while playing. And some of this mainstream, people, you even do Facebook ads, YouTube ads. If you can market a game and you get paid to play it, that's a really great hook. So I would like any game that you can earn cryptocurrency in, and you can actually use, transfer it off. You won't have to pay a lot in fees, such as the CryptoKitties with gas, and it actually can operate. So I know that some people, the sporting community is really big, especially with football, which is soccer in the States. So soccer and cricket are the two biggest, worldwide. So I would like to see maybe a football game or a cricket game that would really be a big hook.
Oh, that would be for sure, definitely. PowerPix there says that SFE EOS.io will be a turn-based game where you earn daily. I don't know if you know anything about that.
I'm unfamiliar with that one. I've heard about I guess a turn-based game where we take turns. I think, let me look at. Yeah, I'll have to do some research on it, because I know that the gaming community is looking at blockchain very well, because as a Starship Captain. Oh wow, it's an MMO on the EOS platform. I think as some of these MMOs are huge, so I would definitely see that's a good way to hook people. And we just need to get the mainstream. I know, and this MMO is great because a lot of them are familiar with crypto, because these MMOs, you can earn gold, you can mine stuff. It's definitely a great way to go. It's interesting.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, carry on, dude.
Appreciate you. I just want to talk a little bit about, the synergy of Whaleshares and EasyDex and all these, Steam, EOS, and Bitshares in the future, because it's linked by Dan right now, and a lot of the people in these different communities are all, pretty familiar with each other. But I think one of the strengths, because of the Whaleshares community, is that it's made up of people from Steam, made up from people from BitShares, and people that are familiar with EOS. So as these three cryptocurrencies and blockchains gain popularity, and people in the Whaleshares community will benefit because of that, that will really help, Whaleshares get known more, because they can use these, if they invested in these cryptocurrencies, the Steam, BitShares, and EOS, they can, really benefit and help Whaleshares grow by building projects, because they have the funds to do it. And they also have the knowledge to do it. Most people in the world are not familiar with Steam or BitShares or EOS. So the fact that Whaleshares has people from all those communities here puts it ahead of a lot of communities and puts it ahead of a lot of people. So I think that's a huge benefit that Whaleshares has over a lot of different communities all over the world. It's doing something that really are ahead of the game. And it might not feel like that because a lot of us use cryptocurrency every day, but you got to realize we're ahead of a lot of people right now. So we got to capitalize that. And I think the Whaleshares community is going to be one that grows in synergy with Steam, with EOS, with BitShares. As those three grow, Whaleshares will grow as well. So I think Whaleshares is going to be kind of the place where these people in these communities go to share ideas, build side projects, discuss and find out about different projects, ask questions. I really feel like Whaleshares is going to be a supportive community to three of the biggest blockchains in the future, which will be EOS, Steam, and BitShares. So I think the Whaleshares community is positioned great right now. And the fact that it's coming out with its own chain is incredible because as these three grow, the mainstream eventually will find out about it. And when the mainstream find out about these three cryptocurrencies, they're going to naturally find out about Whaleshares eventually, whether it be through the support system that Whaleshares offer, helping people through the BitShares and Steam, or by reading articles, or by interacting with people in the community. So by doing that, it's really going to help the Whaleshares blockchain itself grow. And that's going to help people that are involved in the community right now, people that build tokens on it right now in the future, that it's really going to help them do the things they want to do and help people, which I really think is great. And, another thing with this, with EasyDex is that it's planning on coming out with some integration with EOS in Q3. So, and I think that's going to really help the EasyDex community as well, because EOS has a lot of traction, has billions in volume, and a lot of people interested in it. So the fact that EasyDex will be integrated with EOS is incredible. It's going to bring so much awareness to the platform, and I really think, because EasyDex, the community behind that is the same way. There's people in EOS, BitShares, and Steam. So as these Whaleshares and EasyDex communities grow, it's really going to help funnel other people into these other projects and other cryptocurrencies. So I really think that the future is bright with these three cryptocurrencies, Steam, EOS, and BitShares, and the two communities, Whaleshares and EasyDex. I think they're positioned greatly right now. And as long as everybody sticks together and no one gives up, I really think that this future is going to be bright. And I think in 5 years, we'll look back at this time and really cherish it, because we're going to be, we'll see what happens. We were ahead of the game. And, we just can't let money or anything come in between us. We have to keep fighting for the goals that we have, the dreams that we have, and hopefully we'll be able to help a lot of people in the process.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point to make, and it's like you mentioned it, or like I put in the post after speaking with you, the synergy between, EOS, Steam, BitShares, the fact that we have these two great communities, which are developing all the time, it can only go from strength to strength in my mind.
Absolutely. And if BitShares does get integrated into EOS too, it's going to be even bigger strength. But I really think that the people in the community in the Whaleshares is really going to make it thrive. Same with the EasyDex, because more and more people are becoming knowledgeable. We're becoming the next wave of influencers that will really help these people in the future that are unaware of cryptocurrency right now. That will be aware. They're going to be aware of the Whaleshares community and EasyDex for different reasons. So I really think that anybody here right now is going to be positioned greatly for the future.
Wow, it's exciting times for sure, and I'm so looking forward to the new Whaleshares chain, taking the community to a whole new level. I mean, just going with that synergy, how do you then see that mapping out once the new chain is launched?
I think it's gonna, because right now there's the Whaleshares is a lot on the Discord right now, a lot of interaction besides the post on Steam it. So I really think it's going to give a home on these, like a website home, a community home to Whaleshares. So when people in Whaleshares right now can show their friends, family, other people that ask questions to Whaleshares, they can direct it to a website and a blockchain that is easy to read and flowing, like Steam it. Because sometimes Discord is not easy to show people. You're part of this community, and you show them a Discord, they might not understand. But if you give them a nice blockchain built like Whaleshares, which looks like Steam it, and can flow, you can read articles. You can read articles from people ahead of that are influencers in Whaleshares. I think it's going to be a great way for people to become familiar with it and grow with it and want to be more involved with it, because if they're unaware of the community and feel uncomfortable, they're probably not going to, you know, be part of it. But if they can read stuff on their own time and slowly become more comfortable with Whaleshares, I really think it's going to help it gain traction and more popularity with people. And just imagine if we get some colleges and universities, even high schools, aware of Whaleshares, they're really going to, you know, I think they're really going to harness the power of it. So I'm really looking forward to see how people use it, because I know a lot of communities, such as the SMA, a lot of music communities, we can do some things on Whaleshares that you might not be able to do on Steam, whether that be more community focused or to have different tokens. I think I'm really looking forward to people using Whaleshares to help people and kind of do what they want to do. I think it's going to be a great place.
Do you think that the new Whaleshares platform will be the best thing that ever happened to crypto?
No, that's hard. I think Bitcoin being created, the first place, and Dan being born are the two biggest things right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good point. But I don't know. I think Whaleshares is certainly going to take things to a different level.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think it's a nice bridge between cryptocurrency and the mainstream. I think that's where it stands right now. I think it's a great position because you don't want to be too technical where people don't understand, and you don't want to have anything involved with cryptocurrency, which is the mainstream right now. So I think Whaleshares is right in the middle and positioned greatly.
Awesome stuff. I think LCRW. Oh gosh, it's flying up the screen. Hang on, LCR. What is it you're asking? WS. Can you read that, Chief?
Let me see where it's at. Whaleshares are with full organic curation, or will there be bots? I know that Walrus hinted at there'll be a few bots that are helpful because sometimes bots, you can't argue all bots are bad, all are good. Some of them actually are helpful, like, you know, finding plagiarism or stuff like that. But I understand upvotes is something that is kind of being discussed more right now. I've heard from Walrus that, you know, not all those bots will be in Whaleshares, but there will be some bots to help with the functionality and the user experience of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's this ongoing debate about bots, and it rages on and on and on. Some, you know, are fine. I don't have a problem with some aren't too healthy for the ecosystem, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. I think it's kind of like buying your way through it, and you're kind of, I don't know, it's better just to grow organically. It might take longer and it might require more work. And I know that some people, you know, do these bots because they spend a lot of time on these posts, and I understand they want to see the money underneath it to make them feel validated. But I think somewhere you've got to push that ego aside and just know that you're doing this work for the long term. So I personally don't. That's why I don't use any upvote bots. I rather just do everything organic, and just try to provide value. And if I put 10 hours of work in a post and it gets $1, then that's what happens. You know, you're just doing the work to help people. And so I think it's just something like that's how I feel about the bots.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people would agree with you there, dude. I never used to use bots for my first 3 months on Steemit. Then Hard Fork 19 came in, changed things, and I kind of was forced onto bots. And then I found Whaleshares, and then everything changed. So, so yeah, awesome stuff. Okay, dude. I think we're done. I think we've answered all the comments and questions. Is there anything you want to say lastly? Because I know you want to get on with your birthday.
Just that I'm very appreciative of you having us on here, and I really appreciate everybody in the room. I think that we're going to look back at this time in a few years and just kind of smile. It might be stressful right now. It might be a lot of work right now, but I get goosebumps right now that, you know, in 3 years, 5 years, 2 years, that we're really going to look back at this time and, you know, smile about it. So I think everybody should keep doing what they're doing, work hard, and try to help as many people as they can, because it's going to all work out in the end. We're ahead of the game right now. It might not feel that sometimes, but there's a lot of people in this world, and we can really help them. So let's take advantage of this knowledge we have and resources and the community we have, because life's about building communities, you know, and we have a great community right here. So let's take advantage of it and try to keep growing it so more people can find this place and help people and find a home. And so it's really nice that all these people all over the world can find a home here in the Whaleshares.
Absolutely. We are living in crazy times. There is no doubt about it, and they're going to get even crazier. So it's tons and tons of things to look forward to. Well, thank you very much, Chief Mapster, for another fantastic coffee and crypto session. Really enjoying them, so appreciate that, and enjoy the rest of your birthday, dude. I know you've got to go, so have a good one, and look forward to your next session.
Thank you, brother, and see you next week. And hopefully, I'll be around Whaleshares Discord to answer questions throughout the week too, as well. But thank you for the birthday wishes, and appreciate Savo and everybody. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of the show. I'm sure it's gonna be jam packed. Savo's got some great music, and that last guy you said really you hooked me. So I wish I'll definitely look into the live stream or this later. So thanks again. For having me.
You need to listen to the segment actually that's coming up in a moment with the Bug IQ. Fantastic character. Check it out later.
I will do. Thank you, brother, and thanks again for having me on.
No problem. You're very welcome indeed. Right. With that, I am now going to move on. That's a nice introduction to our star guest, and it is indeed the Bug IQ. Hopefully his mic's working. Let's just see if he's there. Bug, are you there?
Oh, yeah.
Never going to let us down, are you? And what? Absolutely. Right. I want to know, what should we talk about?
Oh, man. You know what? It's a clean slate. I am a crypto noob. I mean, I've only been here for, 4 months or something like this. 4 or 5 months, maybe. Or, well, since January, anyway.
Yeah. Well, firstly, okay, let's start from the beginning, because you're an interesting guy. You've got lots of different niches going on. And I want to know, just firstly, what got you onto Steam It? If you can briefly summarize what got you onto Steam It.
Well, Shadows Pub lives in the same community that I do. And, I play music for a living, and I've done some shows over at the local Legion before where she's quite involved. And so I was actually just sending her a Facebook message asking her if maybe we could talk about doing another show sometime, because I started playing some music with another buddy of mine a little bit, and we have a pretty solid duo going, a little something we call High Noon, but it hasn't really gone anywhere. We did like one show. Anyway, that led to a coffee, because she was just glad to get out of the house because her pipes had all frozen and burst, and she had no heat in there, and it was just a nightmare. Power was off, I think, at the time. So we went up to the local Tim Hortons for a coffee. She was only too glad to get out of there. And, she's known me for a long time, 6 or 7 years, and she just brought up this Steam It thing. And so, she had sent me a link in DM before with Messenger. I didn't really pay it any attention. And then when we went for the coffee, she had a chance to explain it more. And I was like, yep, I'm in.
Awesome. So then you started. To begin with, you're a bit intermittent, because I would bump into you and then I wouldn't see you for a few weeks. Would that be a fair description?
Yeah, it was a little bit, spotty start. I was just kind of fitting in. I would say I was kind of approaching Steam It like I approach a lot of things in life. I actually watched the trending page for 2 weeks before I even made an account. And so, I knew what I was getting into even before I signed up. And then I think it took me, a week or 10 days of friends badgering me before I did my introduction post. And then once I started writing, they probably wished I would have shut up. So it's been fairly regular since then.
Well, there we go. I'm going to come on now to your interests. Interesting how you decided to watch the trending page. Almost like you did a bit of homework first. A lot of people wouldn't have done that. But from that initial research, did you, I don't know, draw any conclusions? I mean, did your research, was it informative?
It was, because I was able to distill Steam It down to an extremely simple thought. And there's a lot of complex thinking behind that simple thought. But my simple thought was this: Steam It is busking. And the only difference is that people can put money in your guitar case and they can take money out. And that was it. I zipped it up right there and I called it a day. I said, that's Steam It. That's how I'm going to treat it. I am going to do no harm, take no shit. And I will try to get along with everybody. And that was it. I'm busking. Just people can flag you and take a little cash out of your tip jar if they aren't crazy about you or your stuff. And that's it. So I've been able to explain Steam It very easily to people. However, having said that, growing up in the church and doing all forms of evangelism, including knocking on doors and all that kind of thing. It is the exact same look on someone's face if you tell them Jesus will save you, your eternal soul, from hell and damnation if you believe in him. It is the same look on people's face when I tell them about Steemit. If I start to mention blockchain and crypto, they just glaze over like completely like that. It's just hysterical.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Trying to convince some of my friends to come over to the Steemit platform is an extremely difficult task. It really is. And they think you're some kind of scam artist, you know. I know exactly what you mean, but you've done it. I think you've been successful with getting some of your friends over to the platform. So well done there. But let's just focus a minute on what you're into, because you're into quite a few things. You've got photography going on, you've got script writing going on, you've got animation, and of course you've got your music. Which is your main passion?
You know, I get asked that, a different question, but it's kind of the same. Like, people ask me what's my favorite instrument to play, because I play 8 or 10, and that's just nothing weird about that. That's just, you know, after 30 years of playing, or however long it's been. I got my first professional check when I was 17, and I'll be 53 this summer, so I'm not doing math tonight. You know, I play the drums, the bass, everything fairly professionally, I would say. And when people ask me what's your favorite instrument, it's very difficult, because drumming makes me feel like I'm on, you know, an interstate in California with just a t-shirt on, with a big hog under me, just like killing it 120 miles an hour. That's drumming. You know, playing piano is laying under a tree on a blanket, listening to the breeze and the insects. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just, and then, so what's my favorite passion? You know, is it industrial design? Is it making outdoor gear that makes people's lives easier for homesteading and prepsteading? Is it photography? Is it music? I think I decide on the day what's my favorite thing to do. And I'm the last person to know what's going on that day. I've been sending...
I can imagine, because you've got, you know, it's like, oh, you wake up, oh, what mood am I in? You know, and you've got all these interests. It's kind of, you know, reflective of your personality, you know. So I can imagine, yeah, what mood am I in? You know, it's going to dictate it.
Well, here's the thing, right? If you have spent a lifetime becoming competent at a core number of things, so vocals, instrumentals, I was a contractor for many years, so I can do anything with any tool. I do every trade in the house from the ground up. I spent years doing cement, tile. I board, I do electrical, plumbing, you name it. I can build a house from the ground up. And I just wanted to be a carpenter for a while, so I did it for 10 years. I'm not dependent on anyone for anything, you know, but I love to teach. I love community. I love to be taught. I'm still very open. Some people who've met me on here think I'm a self-aggrandizing prick. That's okay. If I know something and I'm happy to share it, I don't know how that makes me that, but it's all good. You know, you got your flag, use it. Not a problem. Yeah, you know, I think when you have that core competency with a number of things, you can wake up and have that conversation with yourself. You say, thank you, Crystal. What a sweetheart. You know, you can wake up and you say, you know, do I feel like writing a new song today? Well, I've written a whole bunch and I've had some on radio, so I'm fairly confident I can write a song today if I want to. I made a, you know, gasification fire pit that reburns 98% of the wood smoke out of a 45-gallon drum. I figured out how to do it. I should do a video on that someday. I just felt like drilling holes in steel one day and I just figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the comment you're referring to. I'm not going to go into that now, but it's like I said to you before. Steemit is a platform for self-aggrandizing, is it not?
It is within reason, but this is the thing. This is your time to shine, people. You know, let the spotlight be on you. We are all like little hungry chicks that need a little bit of SBD in our wallet, and you know what? Some people will feed you, some people will not. Some people would want to see you starve. But I'll tell you one thing, Freedom, and this is from my heart. I resisted every social platform as far as building, You can check on my Michael Arthur Tremblay music Facebook site. I've got about 1,800 fans, maybe 1,700 people on there. It's a ghost town. I never show up. I'm such a bad dude with those people, but I never wanted to build something on Facebook, and I never wanted to build anything on YouTube where there is absolutely no community lashback, on anything. People can troll you like you've never seen. And I came on here and I said, listen, at least this place has some teeth. If you're a pretty good person, you put out the best content that you're personally capable of, you're going to have a whole lot of people in your corner if people go after you. There's a community here, and there's consequences for the things that you do. And I've seen it in the short time I've been here. I've had people have my back. I did have one little problem where I had a guy, I really like him actually, and he was like coming after me all the time whenever I would share stuff. And, I wrote a post about it. I talked to a friend about it, and they said, well, it's your blog. I said, well, you know what? Fuck it. The guy, he's not responding to my DM, and he's like taking a big dump on me every time I try to share something that's like a lifetime achievement. So, it's no secret. It's out there. It's about, Sergeant Dan. And I wrote a post called Milestones and the Jerk. And he made a nice little, kind of a semi-apology in there. But I just basically came on here, and it was just, I took a great big breath, and it was a massive sigh of relief. And I said, you know what? I can build something here. I can be part of a community. I can live that motto, do no harm, take no shit. It works here.
Okay, all right.
It works on YouTube.
Yeah, well, let's just take that point then, because one of the things you're trying to build, and I know a lot of people know about it, it is this this animation series you're trying to create called Plank Town. I think it's fantastic, and just tell us a bit about that and where you've got to with it so far.
Well, Planktown started out as just a few little campy posts, just my
right,
sort
put
of...
a post up as well, can you?
Yeah, I'm not sure how far back you'd want me to go. It kind of, I can tell you sort of where Planktown really started. It was some people were doing a Adopt a Minnow program. And, people were going to reach down and adopt this poor little minnow and help them on the platform to do better and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of took a look at that, and I said, yeah, screw that. I'm going to do an Adopt a Whale post.
Well, wouldn't we all like to adopt a whale?
Yeah, I'm going to try and find it for you.
No, I'll get it. You carry on talking, bud.
So I wrote this post about 4 months ago. Free-spirited plankton seeks whale. I'll grab you a link here.
Oh, okay. You got it to hand. Cool.
This is what sort of started it off for me. I was looking for more than friends with Benefish and all my, my little humorous things in there. And, to me, I just had a great laugh doing this. Well, it was kind of funny because the post, it made a little over $18, and it kind of got me thinking maybe I could find a way to entertain the platform and, do a little something. So I was thinking, Plankton, Planktown. I like that. So then, I started thinking about Planktown and that just being a little place for, Plankton, because, I've been banging away at the platform for 4 months. And I think just as of yesterday, my vote's finally worth 4 cents. I'm like, oh man, it is like pulling teeth on here to get anywhere. But, you keep swinging away and, eventually you get somewhere. So eventually Planktown was born, and we have a professional artist, Darosnack, and Globalcop does help me out with it a lot. So I write the stories. I come up with a parody song, like I turned Brown-Eyed Girl into Brown-Eyed Krill. And, we can throw maybe someone can just throw the Planktown homepage link in the channel for me. And yeah, there's one where I love that because you finally get to see the whole town. I think that tumbleweed is just my favorite thing to look at. And I did a little, cameo shout out to Ingenuity over on the Alliance there. So that's the Witty Express, and the engine number is his rep. I think it's 62. It's pretty funny.
Awesome. Now, you're someone as well who's thinking, and you're a good example to use again. I think you've created this project, but you're also thinking about building your own token around Planktown. Is that still on the table or not?
You know, everything's on the table right now. I have a conference call with Steam It Inc. tomorrow morning, and I'm going to kind of see what they think about Planktown and a couple other little projects that I've been thinking about. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, sure. You know, I fully intend to kick, bite, and scratch my way somewhere. So I'm going to try everything.
Oh, wow. Well, good luck with that. Okay, let's just now turn this... No, I'm going to press you on that call you've got with Steam It Inc. Tell us more.
That's about all I can say until I know what happens on the call. All I know is I have it set up.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, if they want to delegate me, you know, enough that I can have a $50 to $100 vote, that'll get me some development for animation. A lot of people keep crying for animation, and they're like, "Well, that's just a GIF." I'm like, "Yeah, well, that GIF took a Disney Pixar level artist 8 hours to make. So shut it." Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about animation if you don't know what you're talking about. She took me through, and you know what? I kind of fell for it, eh? You know, people were pressuring me to, you know, you got to do animation. Come back when you have animation. Even a couple of the whales said, you know what? Come back when you have animation. Great. Thank you so much for that. That's like, you know, the old, you can't have this job because you need experience, and you'll never get the job because you have no experience. So whatever. You know, I respect people who are with me from the beginning, and they believe in something from the beginning, and it's paid off for quite a few people that I've known in my life, where you know, I've got a history of following through on stuff. But as far as animation goes, Darosnek took me through a sheet of it's a sheet that she had when she was doing some work for DreamWorks. I'm going to try to say this in a way that everyone gets it. We're talking about one single 22-minute episode, okay? We're talking 53 weeks with a large team, everything broken down, and then another 2 weeks on the end of it for DreamWorks to do their final color adjustments on everything. So you're talking a year for one episode. So that's how they cycle them. They get a whole bunch of these, like you're just putting bullets in a magazine, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. And then you shoot one out, and that takes 53 weeks. You shoot the next one out the next week, and that takes 53 weeks. So that's how these things work. So when she was saying, like, here's a really super limited 2D type of animation that we could bang off with a small group of people for maybe a 5-6 minute episode, maybe 15,000 USD. And there's a lot of people on Steemit who have some quality skills, and maybe they're willing to work for SBD and Steam. Maybe where they live, you can buy a car for 10 SBD. I don't know. It's just, it is not easy, and it's something that I haven't given up on.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, you are a determined guy, and it kind of neatly brings us on to that conversation you had with Fuzzy the other night, which turned out to be quite a long conversation, almost a pitch in many ways. You know, tell us a little bit more about that. But before you do, I'm just going to tell everybody what you said about Whaleshares, because I pressed you on this last night, and I wanted to know what your thoughts were about Whaleshares and the community.
True.
And you said to me, well, that's easy. I found Whaleshares to be a very warm, welcoming, and positive environment as a community. I like that it is a bold, forward-thinking initiative that seeks to aggressively improve on the shortcomings of currently available models. Would you like to elaborate a bit?
I think there's a lot of issues that the platform that we're on with Steemit has, that everyone's off in their, there's a lot of people have drawn battle lines on the platform for and against bots, multiple accounts. We've got full-time steam cleaners. We don't really have, one user, one vote system. Eventually our passwords will be easily hackable probably in a couple of years at the level of security that we have. There's a lot going on here. And there's a ton of money here, and it attracts all types of actors, good and bad. And you have the utopian-minded people who just, want everyone to get along and hug everyone, which is kind of me. So I'm sort of an optoreal, I say, I'm optimistic realist. So if you've been punched in the face long enough, and you simply believe that you're so fast no one can punch you in the face, but you keep getting punched in the face, eventually you have to be an optimistic realist. You're like, well, I dodged some.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, are you looking forward to this new platform? Are you going to take advantage of it?
I will definitely be tootling around on there, and I'll make an account and start posting and see how it goes. As with anything, that it is going to be in its infancy, but you do have a lot of really good people involved. And, I did have a long conversation with, Fuzzy about stuff. And yes, it was definitely, I'm certainly not afraid to pitch this to anybody. I've DM'd the biggest of the big. Sometimes I get answered. Sometimes I don't.
Well, if you're not going to ask, you're not going to get anywhere, but you're not afraid to ask. That's for sure. But that's what you need to do, isn't it? Really? Let's be honest.
It is. And Snecky, Poetic Snake on here, she always says, what, I just never ask. Why don't I ask? I ask the same question. Because, sometimes you ask and, really good things happen, and sometimes things happen that you don't even think are going to happen. The other night, like Fuzzy and I actually end up having a conversation that we realized, well, we're just a couple of guys, actually. We actually have a lot in common. It's just, he's a whale, I'm a plankton. You know what? He's been here longer. He has money. Roles could easily be reversed. We would still be a couple guys with a lot of the same stuff in common. We both like pizza and knives. Simple as that. Now, what was pretty cool was it sort of brought home to me the reality of making your own coin. So he had his coin, which is backed by his own account. And what's his coin again, Freedom?
What he's got a couple of like Whaleshares, but I think he sent you some Beyond Bits.
He sent me some Beyond Bits, and then for everyone in the room, between Freedom and Snecky and myself and someone sending me a Beyond Bit or something so I could afford the transaction, man, what a nightmare. But at the end of the day, after about 10 minutes, we funneled a nice little tip that Fuzzy gave me, and I used it to upvote one of my accounts, and that's when kind of the lights started to go on. And I got a $20 vote from him for singing a few songs in the channel. I'm like, damn, that's probably the best tip I ever got for singing a few songs. The lights started to come on a little bit. I'm like, oh, yeah, baby.
Well, I like money. This is it, you see, Berg. I mean, I'm glad you finally. I mean, you've been coming to my shows for months and months, and I've been sending you Whaleshares and whatever and hair shares. But that night, the other night, when Fuzzy sent you some Beyond Bits, and I helped you use the Whaleshares tool to give you your upvote that you earned, you saw it there and then, and it was like, now I see how this works. And you weren't buying a vote; you'd earned that vote, hadn't you?
It was a really nice little process, and I kind of, I didn't really blow it off. Like he just said, oh yeah, do another song, man. Like do a Garth, and I'll send you some Beyond Bits, whatever. And I'm like, well, you might as well be sending me an Altoid tin full of cinnamon candy, which I would probably really like. But, getting that vote, when you see it on your post and you see how difficult it is to get a $20 vote from anybody, yeah, that was better than a punch in the face. That was a belly rub.
It was indeed, but that was great. That was a good conversation. Hopefully, but kind of networking, getting involved in communities, talking to people, and that's what it's about. And you're clearly good at that. So let's just move on to another one of your niches. And we spoke about it before about the music, but I'm hoping you are going to give us a song. Is that right?
I suppose I could. I've got my big spoon here to lay on my push to talk button. I haven't prepared anything, which is kind of how I like to do things like this. You know, if you listen to a couple of my spontaneous radio interviews on my SoundCloud, there's one little section that is actually, it's probably funnier every time I hear it, because believe it or not, I was up in what we call the Muskokas here, which is, I mean, it is like just gorgeous cottage country in Ontario here in Canada. And my drummer, Kenny Post, I went up to his house in the middle of the summer to lay down drums for a Christmas track. And that was a song that I was recording, and the United Way in Canada used it for a national campaign for this number that actually nobody knows about, it seems, is 211. And it's active in most of Canada and the USA 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can dial 211, very well-trained people there, and you can talk to someone 24 hours a day. They know everything that's going on in your community, where you can get help, where you can get shelter, where you can get food. It's very, very cool, 211. So anyway, I'm sitting in Kenny's backyard. We're having a beer, and I had to do this radio interview. So he hands me the phone. He goes, "It's the radio station." I'm like, "Cool. Hello, whoever." I forget the DJ's name. We start having our interview, and I start laughing, and Kenny like spews half his beer out of his face because this giant rabbit literally ran past us. And then the radio announcer, he goes, "Well, I hope it wasn't wearing a vest." Wearing a vest. And I said it was wearing a vest, but it didn't have a pocket watch. I guess it's kind of a rough neighborhood. So that was we had a pretty good laugh about that.
Nice. Okay. And have you written a song about this?
No.
You need to, I think. But just tell us then, just touching on then your music, what is your favorite genre of music?
That it's very, very tough for me. I like a lot of what's called prime country, which is like George Strait, Alan Jackson, Little Bluegrass, Ricky Skaggs. I like some Vince Gill. I like all of the wonderful female country stars like Reba and Winona, Jody Messina, some others like that. Even Canada's Lisa Brokup, almost got to do a concert with her. Fell through at the last minute. Hard to know. And then I grew up listening to, Styx, Little AC/DC, quite a bit of Queen. Supertramp was pretty big, and Chicago, Boston, those types of bands. Kind of I guess, if I had to have like a group of desert island songs, I would probably choose power ballads, like REO Speedwagon, Can't Fight This Feeling, probably steal Pat Benatar if I hope I get shipwrecked with her at the very least, and she can sing Shadows of the Night and Hit Me With Your Best Shot, although she would probably like kill you for making her singing it. She's probably done with singing it, but it's hard to know. I really do have a really wide variety of music that I like, but definitely not a rap guy, definitely not a heavy metal guy, a little bit of light classical, nothing too serious.
Fair enough. Because music is, as you told me the other night, it's your bread and butter, isn't it? That's the main source of income for you now. Is that right?
It's the only thing that puts burgers in the fridge. I played a gig this afternoon for some seniors. I don't make a secret of it. I drove 30 minutes to get there, 25 minutes maybe. It's not too far from me. I play for an hour. I get $175 Canadian. I'm home.
Yeah. Okay. And how long have you been doing that, Bud?
I've been doing this kind of thing full time since 2013. Then I've been doing music off and on, since the very early 80s, I would say.
Okay. And tell me about the time you sacked your entire management team.
Oh, you remember that? I had released my CD, which now I have 2 of my songs from my CD release concert. I just posted the second song yesterday, Ain't Half Bad, which was my first song that went to radio in Canada. And so I had a couple of booking agents, some management, and I was always, it's hard to pull the wool over my eyes with music because my family's, collectively probably played music for over 100 years in Canada. I've had a few relatives that have, they made their living from music. So, I thought I had a pretty solid team, but, when I'm looking at, 10, 15 gigs in 6 months, I'm like, wow, like you're literally just laughing it up in your slippers and bathrobe at home, doing this for probably 150 other people and doing just enough to make sure no one's completely angry with you. I just said, guys, it's not working for me. I'm just going to give it a try myself. And they're like, yeah, well, best of luck to you. And I said, sure, no problem. Thank you. I picked up the phone. I booked 200 shows in 6 weeks. I offered everyone a money back guarantee on the show. I said, not you who I'm booking with, but your crowd. If your people don't want me back, then keep your check.
Yeah. And that's, that's a great selling point. You're giving them a guarantee, really saying, look, if I don't rock the crowd, you get your money back. I mean, it's win-win for them, isn't it?
Yep. And I have never not been paid. I've always been paid, and I've always been rehired. Ooh, except one place didn't work out so well.
Oh, would you care to tell?
No, I thought it was a retirement home, and it was a place for the severely brain injured, and it was just. It wasn't a nightmare for me. It's just I actually have volunteered in the past with severely brain injured, but that's a whole other bag of cats. You have people wandering around, picking stuff up off your table, trying to unplug your gear, and I didn't even complain about that. I just, I'm always pretty jovial. I'll kind of say, hey, security, just to get the attention of the staff, and they'll come over and they go, oh yeah, he likes to unplug shit. I'm like, yeah, well, nice knowing you after the show. See you later.
Okay. All right, dude. We're running out of time. So could you give us a song?
Yeah. What do you want to hear? And I'll drag up the lyrics here. Something I haven't done, maybe.
Something you haven't done? Oh, I don't know. I was thinking about something before. I wonder if somebody else, Rammstein. Who the hell's Rammstein? Rush. Do you know any of these?
Oh, Closer to the Heart, man. I wish I knew the chords. Yeah, a bag of stuffed cats, not real ones. Get real.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. No. Try and think of something along the John Denver line.
Do you know Prodigy, Bug?
No, I might as well do it. I might as well do Evanescence, Bring Me to Life or something.
Prodigy. Anyway, Johnny Cash. Yeah, you know a bit of Johnny Cash, don't you?
Yeah, we could do that. Or, you know what? Let me do a bit of Denver for you. I haven't done any of that.
You go for Denver.
Mind you, I don't know. John's Canadian, eh? Maybe I should do John.
I honestly don't mind. Anything you do, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy.
Let's do a little John Denver. I'm not so sure about the key. Let's kick it up just a little wee bit. Hear that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. All my memories gathered round her, minor lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. I hear her voice in the morning as she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get the feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, and Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads, and take me home, country roads, take me home, this country road.
Whoa! Oh, that was lovely. Thank you very much for that, Bug. You know what? I know the song, but I didn't know the name of it, and that was John Denver, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he passed away some years ago. It's called "Country Roads" by John Denver. He actually had, I believe it was a ultralight accident that he had with one of those little light, fabric winged aircrafts.
Oh shit! That's a shame.
Yeah, it's something I'll never go out on because one of those couldn't even get me off the ground, so I'm good.
Bug, come on, that's
just being fair to myself.
Anyway, that is an awesome song. Thank you very much for that. I do love that song. I just couldn't remember the name or who it was by, but I'm so pleased you chose that song. Thank you very much for that and for coming on. It's been great talking to you. Going to have to move on now, but you are the first ordinary guest. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? But you're the first victim of the Whaleshares BLUE Report show, because last week we had special guests Fuzzy and Walrus. This week, though, you are the very first member of the Whaleshares community, a normal member of the community coming on. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Hope it wasn't too daunting.
Oh, not at all. I really appreciate it. Thanks for everyone for the nice comments. Really appreciate being here.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on again, as I say. And I really hope that conversation with Steamer Inc. goes very well. Do tell us, if you can, the outcome of that. And I wish you well, Bug, with all your projects, because you're an ambitious guy and you've got a number of things on the go. And I particularly hope that Planktown can succeed. So good luck with all of that. Thank you again for coming on. It's been awesome to have you.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome. If you're not following the Bug IQ, you're missing out, really. You should get following him. Very interesting guy, very funny guy, and a very nice guy as well. So get following him and wish him all the best. Right, okay. I am going to move on. Just to let you guys know, don't forget, later on in the show, I will be asking you to DM me your BitShares username, because this week it's EasyDex tokens I'm giving out. All of you attending will get 3 EasyDex tokens. I will ask for your BitShares username later on. So just to remind you. But no guest book, Power Picks. No. I'm going to delete that even. I'm going to delete it. There we go. Gone. I'm even going to delete your question mark. I'm going to delete your question mark. It's gone. There is no guest book tonight. I will be asking later on exactly LCR. What's the guest book? You've just confused LCR now. What's the guest book? Anyway, there's no guest book. Forget that. I will be asking for you guys to DM me later on. That is the best way I can manage this. So that is what I should be doing later on. But anyway, I'm going to move on now to it. Quite nice actually that Bug ended on a song, because we're going to continue with. You Google it, LCR. You Google guest book, and I'm sure Google will help you out. But yeah, more music coming up now, because it is indeed Savo's segment. He's going to be talking music. He's got some artists he's going to introduce to us and hopefully give us some music. So I'm going to hand over to him. Dude, are you there?
Hey, Freedom.
Hey, Savo, how you doing?
I'm doing very fine. And you?
I'm doing very well. Looking forward to what you got.
Yeah, I've got 2 victims with me. And both are people who are very busy when it comes to music. If we look at it, we have Brookie Downflow, and we have the Movement 19, who is actually currently hosting a show on our channel. And both have something in common, which is hip hop. And so I saw Movement 19. He showed me what he was doing with documentaries, and he was shooting documentaries from in the 90s already, if I can't if I have it right. So, and Brookie Downflow, he's working his way very, 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 very well on music. So what we actually want to know is the differences with the music today, and when it comes to hip hop and the performances, what is so different today? We all know we can imagine something, but what is so different today than it was back then? And then we will discover that it's actually possible to, as an artist, to get things out everywhere you want today. Spotify, also iTunes, everywhere. And that was different back in the days. But I'm checking if they are able to speak.
Yeah, he should be. I've just server unmuted him.
Okay. Okay.
He's Wolf and War. He's that one, isn't he? Wolf.
Yeah. It's spelled backwards, and that confuses everybody.
It does indeed, but he is server unmuted. But I don't know if he's there or not.
He should be. Dookie, are you there? Can you come and can you say something?
I'm going to get Crystal to do some magic and call him via text. She's a doctor and she can sort this out. Oh, Movement 19 has done it instead, but I'm not so sure he's there, Savo, because he's not typing either.
Okay. Yeah, then we just go on with the Movement, of course. He needs to be unmuted as well, by the way. But what he's doing, he's working his way very, very hard on the Steam platform. I mean, his posts, which he makes on the music, he's helping us out at SMA very, very well. Met yesterday even the lotto of Whaleshares.
I think a lot of us know Movement 19 simply for his server announcements.
That's probably true.
That's where I know him most.
Yeah. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Yeah, fine, man. And you?
Good. That was a nice little introduction. Let me correct you a little bit though. I wasn't shooting the documentaries in the 90s. I started shooting in the early 2000s, but I started podcasting before the word existed. I actually was working with a company in the late 90s that helped launch Windows Media, and we were just calling it internet radio. So a lot of the people I've worked with are legends, were legends throughout the 90s, are hip-hop legends. I'm originally from New York City, and at the time lived in Bed-Stuy, literally 2 blocks from Biggie Smalls. where like after he died, I used to go sit on the front step of his mom's building and smoke blunts for him. So the documentary that he's talking about, I actually did when I first went to film school at New York Film Academy for a little while. I didn't actually get a degree from there, but I got some certifications and started to learn how to edit and whatnot digitally. And then originally it was supposed to be a series. I did that right around the time YouTube first came out. And if you remember Google Video, you know, they bought YouTube. It was Google at first, and the two sites existed side by side, but they were separate entities. And it was supposed to be a series that I did like actually about 5 parts, but 3 officially. And I just couldn't keep up with it at the time. There was a flood in my apartment that ruined the only camera that I had, anyway, it's something I wanted to start revisiting now on the platform, on Steemit and DLive and DTube.
So you are now actually reliving that time, if I understand it very well.
Yeah, well, I'm saying I'm working. So now I'm working towards. I've been podcasting, and all the way, you know, since the '90s, and then when I discovered Steemit, basically moved all my activity over to the platform because it's very accommodating. I mean, we have all the other, you know, affiliated websites like DTube and DSound, and you know, albeit there's some issues, there's still some hiccups to get through. It is a very all-encompassing platform, especially with Discord involved. And I mean, I heard the talk about EOS earlier, but I mean, this is great. This is changing the world of social media and the world in general. And so, like I said, I moved my podcasting over here indefinitely, permanently, so to speak, and want to start doing the video series again, and you know, pick up where I left off.
So we can expect actually documentaries again from you while you're doing and podcast and video, and you have almost every day you have a set, right? You are podcasting every day.
Not every day. My wife would kill me.
Yeah.
but right now it's 4 days a week. So on Mondays I'm on MSP Waves. I'm sure everybody's familiar with that over on the PAL Discord. 4 p.m. and I do just a talk show, news, and kind of talk and interview a lot of Steemians, random people like Pensive, and I'll have you on the show and whoever, like just to talk about a lot of things, whatever's going on. And then Tuesdays I have my own talk show, which I actually is the only thing I haven't moved over to Discord, although I do my posts on Steemit. It's the only one that you won't find on Discord on anybody's server yet, and that's my talk show I've been doing for a few years. That's very controversial, like well, let's just leave it at that, controversial. And then, as you know, I officially moved my Wednesdays over to Steam Music Alliance. That started, I guess, a couple months ago, right? On Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then we've decided, so I guess I should go ahead and announce that we have been doing Thursdays. Normally I'd be on the air right now, 7 p.m. Eastern time, but we've decided to move it down to 4 to 7 and pre-show this thing. And that way we can all be present, because you guys have a huge audience, and so does Steam Music Alliance, and there's no sense in competing. It's stupid. We can do this together.
So yeah, you're a very active guy.
Yeah, and I got to thank Jack Dub for that idea. Actually, I can't take credit. My bad.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. You are an efficient guy. Yeah, we can see that already. But I want to ask: is Tookie Brownflow? Are you now ready?
I see you.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Whoa. Let's just wait a minute. Let's just stick with movement. I'd like to just ask movement.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, don't. We'll come back to Dookie. But movement. Thanks for coming on. I want to ask you more about these documentaries. You said you started making them back in the early noughties. What was the motivation for making these documentaries? And can you just tell us a bit more about them? I mean, how many did you make? Was it like a series?
So the first one was like feature length, like 40-something minutes, and they're all on YouTube. I've been meaning to move them over to DLive, and I will do that soon, I promise. it just I don't know, it just occurred to me because at that time, that's when technology got easier. That's when, you know, I had like I had a Mac at the time, G5 and Final Cut and a digital camera with tapes, but nonetheless it was just at that pivotal moment in technological history where all of a sudden, like, you know, the average Joe more or less could afford to do something professionally. And I figured, shit, I could. At the time I was trying to do it monthly. I did 3 actual that I called, like, you know, volume 1, 2, and 3, but then I did 2 supplementals that didn't necessarily have a lot to do with music per se, and one of them was just a presentation of me having screened the first one at a local high school.
Okay. Oh, wow. And so in terms of like hits and stuff, you know, were they pretty successful?
The first one, I mean, you know, made the rounds. I mean, you have to consider in 2000, I guess it was 2005, 6-ish, before YouTube was really a big thing. You know, it didn't have the reach it has today, but that it was able to get screened at a high school in New York City was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I don't even know how many views it has now, but I don't imagine. I mean, there are some serious names in terms of underground hip hop. I mean, I've interviewed a lot of big legends over the years, but
so would you want to take that to a more professional level, your documentaries, or is that kind of left behind now? Or I think you mentioned you were returning to some, no?
Yeah, I want to revisit that. It's just I don't want to bite off more than I can chew, and the podcasts really go well with the blogging. It's something I can do on top of managing a homestead, micro farm, and unschooling two kids. And I'm right now working on a proposal and a script for a children's TV show. Actually, I say TV show, it's not like we're looking to shop it on actual television, but it's the 50th anniversary of Mr. Rogers, so we're kind of working on something to go with that. So I do want to revisit that. I think that maybe if I go video with the podcast things, like de-live the podcasts and start interviewing more artists, I could go that direction a little easier.
Okay, awesome.
So more artists, yeah, it's the right pace then.
Yeah, live artists for sure. Like that would be. I mean, that's what I used to do when I first started internet radio. So I just, it's just now it's, you know, people are so spread out. It's harder to get people to the studio, and now we can Skype and now we can Discord. So that may be changing.
Yeah, but it makes really opportunities, I see, you know, and especially if you look at it, that we are actually now embracing all these things. As artists as well, you know, through unity, because we are all knowing each other from, you know, we feel the same passion for, we are on a blockchain and interested in that, and that brings it also a little bit more together, I believe. And yeah, you know, because people don't know it, or they should know actually, but you invited 2 people from the biggest hip hop forum as well, last on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. So what he's talking about is a few weeks ago for my Tuesday show, when I just do the talk show, I invited the moderators of Hip Hop Discussion Group, HHDG, over on Facebook. They're probably the biggest and longest running genre-based group, you know, social media group. They've been on Facebook for I think I can't remember how long now, but 8 years, I think they said. They have their following is only in the tens of thousands. I say only, you know, when you think globally, but it's a pretty big deal. Super active, and they're a multimedia company now, getting ready to do all kinds of merchandising and whatnot. So we had them over on Steam Music Alliance a few weeks ago. It was a lot of fun. They loved it. They definitely want to come back, and they're entertaining the idea of setting up HHDG on the blockchain and like maybe having SMA kind of like take them under the wing. So I think that could be a really, really cool project to work on. I think Dookie might be excited about that.
Yeah, because I wanted to actually have you two together actually on the voice here. So Dookie, are you available? Are you ready to say something?
He'll need to right click and unmute himself, I think, or just go out and come back in again. I'm hoping that's what he's just done there. Easy. Hopefully they'll come back. And now right-click and unmute, Dookie.
Yeah, what we can do is I have Truki's music to listen to one track already, and maybe the problem will be fixed after that. And then we can discuss what is the, what the flows are now with hip hop scene, with the hip hop scene these days and back in the days. So let me see. So this is Dookie Brownflow with Passion.
Three, two, one, 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 one. Free your body and your mind.
Yeah, this thing is cold.
People are so weird. Look at man in his eyes, you can sense what his soul fear. Just a part of the sum, no longer the whole sphere. Not to fawn on the earth, it's getting too cold here. It's been getting too cold here. How many people you know controlling their own sphere? Everyone that I know is living life so scared. Get rid of your fear. Master it, imagine attaching gifts. You ask for it, your craft is immaculate. Lash intent, pass any lack within. Act convinced, follow what your passion is. Master it, imagine attaching gifts. You ask for it, your craft is immaculate. Lash intent, pass any lack within. Act convinced, follow what your passion is. Humans are so tense, thinking it's because of what they're holding is potent. Truly all that's needed is motion, to rock the waves of any sea in the ocean. I open the flow to the stream of devotion. Easy to cope when you as cold as the poles get. I wrote this in hopes that you notice the notion. Reversing the programs, controlling my broham. Soaking the vibes, coincide with the rise. The better you are equipped, the lesser you are surprised. D-double-O-K-I-E, don't ever try me. Leave a whack rap cat feeding on IVs. Probably equivalent to Gandhi with the rhyme, and assign me to a comment, aligning with the glow. Atomic when I'm shining, I'm bombing every show. Lines around the globe to watch me how I flow. Master it, imagine attaching gifts. You ask for it, the craft is immaculate. Lash intent, pass any lack within. Act convinced, follow what your passion is. Master it, imagine attaching gifts. You ask for it, the craft is immaculate. Lash intent, pass any lack within. Act convinced, follow what your passion is. Follow what your passion is. Master it, imagine attaching gifts. You ask for it. Your craft is immaculate. Pass any lack with it. Follow what your passion is.
Nice tune.
New Jersey.
Absolutely. Was that Dookie?
Yeah, yo, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, finally. Welcome, man.
Thank you. I'm sorry, man. I'm helping my family move right now, so I'm kind of caught in the middle of two things. But how y'all doing, man? Good. Respect everybody in the show today.
Word up, dude.
I hope y'all like the music. Y'all liked it?
You kidding me?
Yeah, man. Follow what your passion is. That's the main message in it, man. We just want to, we here to inspire the people, man. The womb is really a symbol of a new birth in my consciousness. For anyone who doesn't know of me, I'm part of a duo called Second Womb. Father Earth is the producer, and me and him make Second Womb together. But yeah, man, the womb is all about elevating our people, mind, body, soul, and consciousness.
And you have already a big crowd with performances, right?
Yeah, somewhat, man. My foot traffic is I'm known in the streets. Social media wise, outside of Steemit, not too. I mean, I'm known, but my name is heavier when I'm in the streets.
Word up. Who on Steemit doesn't know the brown flow?
A lot of work, man. Got to put that work in.
True.
Yeah, yo, you're the first artist that I started following when I first signed up and discovered D Sound and was like, oh, because I was using SoundCloud and was like, oh, okay, scratching my head like I can use this, and followed, was like clicking around, and swear to God, that first day you were the first artist I started following, and then since then, I find out you touring with Ason, and people don't know who Ason Intrigue is. Like he's getting big on Steemit, and
Appreciate it, man.
I'm like, yeah, for real, you the truth, man. And I knew the first time I heard your voice, I knew you was from Jersey. It's South Jersey at that.
Jersey the building.
Word up.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man.
Paulie.
The thing with Ason came about, just a few weeks ago, honestly, when I came back from Miami. Me and Ason's been talking, and he said he's in VA, and I was like, hey, man, let me come and check you out. And he said go. I said go, and I took a Greyhound out there, and we made it happen. So, man, salute to Steemians.
Hells yeah. Steam makes big things happen for good people like you and everybody else that we working with.
For sure.
Okay, guys, but what we want to talk about actually is if you see a difference between the hip hop culture, because that's where you both come from and what you're doing. How would you describe it, Dookie, in comparison to what you know of the 90s hip hop?
How would I compare it? I would say, it's more bubblegum rap nowadays. It's way more accessible. It's way more diluted because it's very easy for people to make a song and throw it on SoundCloud and get a lot of plays, even if it's not mixed or produced well, or even if the person's not saying anything. I blame the music more on the listener, the lower quality of the music being on the radio on the listener rather than the artist himself, because we've been force-fed, or in America, I should say, we've been force-fed the music that we're listening to, and that's all the bubblegum shit. Like, the comparison between today and the 90s is they was really promoting the stuff that was for the people rather than, to manipulate the people.
Yeah, that's in every country the same, I believe. But if we look at the crowd, because what I learned from the documentaries from Movement was that it's all about brothership and brotherhood. It's about hustle, and these days, I mean, if you look at the hip hop scene, the bubblegum music, that explains maybe enough. How do you see that bubblegum music? Because you are a DJ now, Movement. What's your look at that?
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. What is bubblegum music?
Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, it's actually made for commercial.
That's like the real. The jingle bells, like this. It's not the gritty rap. When I rap, I flow addict and comfy like old fabric. It's the Little Yachty's of the world, and
it's something without commercial rap. Then no,
exactly.
It's all commercial though.
Well, this is what I'm trying to work out. This is what I'm trying to work out. When you say bubblegum, are you saying it's more commercial or less serious?
See, when it comes to commercial stuff, all commercial stuff is bubblegum. Bubblegum is just it's like
right.
When it's just money, cars, clothes, and hoes, and that's not really the lifestyle that you live in. You're outside of your reality. You're just rapping just to rap. That's bubblegum raps.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Well, I mean, to me, hip hop really a lot of people separate, and not just outsiders, like even real true hip hop fans, the eras and like they say the backpack era, the golden era, the raucous era, the 90s, the 80s, new school, old school. And like, there's definitely a defining line between old school and new school. I will agree to that. And to me, it's like, I don't know, 90, 93, maybe 92. But to me, it doesn't really change because I personally ignore bubblegum music for the most part. I mean, if I'm playing a wedding or something, there's some radio tunes that I hear in the car and be like, yeah, that's dope. For instance, like the Black Panther soundtrack. A lot of people wouldn't necessarily put that in the quote-unquote real hip-hop category, right? But there's some dope-ass music on it. But then to me, like as a DJ, and you Dookie, have heard my shows, my hip-hop shows, to me, like, there isn't much of a difference between like the underground stuff or just the more heady stuff like a Pharaoh Monch, for instance, that's coming out today and was coming out 25 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. If you look at it from the age perspective, everybody has, you know, this certain period in his life or her life where there is some kind of music, and that's in every style maybe, which is the best according to them because they had that amazing time then. But if you look at the culture, how people these days, is there more brotherhood or more competition? Because when we had the guys on radio, they were, you know, really competitive about artists and stuff. And if you look at that from that perspective,
it's like it's all about the community you surround yourself with. Like if you're around all of the people who aren't true to the culture and ain't doing it for the right reasons, then you're going to get the music that, you know, reflects that. But since like, I mean, I feel like my journey is so much different than any other hip hop artist who has ever done this because I've always been independent since the beginning. Like, and I've always had a stigma behind me because of my name. You know, people never really, they know when you feel me in person, it's way different. Or when you talk to me, it's different than when you just look at my name and say, oh, you know? So like, it's all about how the people you surround yourself with, because the culture is thriving. Like everybody loves true hip hop, but it's the ones that are, sorry, just got a call, but it's the ones that are you know, force fed this stuff and don't know no better that are really like diluting it and making it more of a subgenre. It's not really hip hop no more. It's like hip rock, rap, sometimes whatever it wants to be in any moment. It's morphing into so much more than just rap and hip hop, in a sense that it's becoming bigger than life.
And because of that, you know, I have here a song of you which is pretty much describing that. And yeah, it's made by the second one. The first one was your own song, but this was with
sorry, say that again?
The first one was without with another producer.
Yeah. All right, so the first one was with a producer named Troy Maddox. He lives in Atlanta right now. I put that was the post I actually posted today, was that song. So that's why I wanted to give you that. But if you want to, anybody like Troy Maddox, definitely go on Instagram and hit him up. But that was me and him, and everything else that I gave you was Second Womb, which is me and Father Earth together.
And that's what we're gonna hear now. So it's Second Womb with battle raps.
Yo, fuck Father Earth, fuck Second Womb. They got weird fucking hip hop shit and shit. Oh man, right? Why you always talking? Why you always talking shit, man? Yo, I can get you beat up with my feet up, or I can get you ate up, get you weighed up in this rap shit. You an A cup with a lot of makeup. My lines is clean as my balls are suave, but the people treated her off the top of the dome, yo. It's no problem. The problems of the past inspire the future. This music swells your brain and splits your sutures. Your mouth read the raps only you built to losers. Or claim me on stage looking like a doofus. You might be the elephant in the room with the shoe fits and slick some shit at the wall and stick you stick. Probably not. Amazing how much harder the truth is. And your failed attempts at recreating top 40 hits. Probably should focus on recreating top 40 hits. Properly focused energy blast at your top with like 40 hits of the dope. You know nothing. These lines, they cost nothing. You can never afford this shit. For this watered out the show because you're boring, kid. Thought somebody would read all the drinks because the snowman, kid. I swear to God, you must be snorting shit. When I spit, I swear to God, it feels like I am solving, kid. Yo, piece to DZ, piece to Killer, piece to end the story, kid. The room in your room, ain't no need to worry, kid.
Here's a little nostalgia from those great, wonderful days.
You niggas couldn't spit shit, hocking loogies in a porta pot. I sort of kind of fortify these warning shots. Mortify Mordecai. Take a lick and porta pot up on his top. Piss off. These fag ass rappers having kiss offs. Claiming that you flyer. I have a stab at ice. Fire at your jaw. Leave you skating like Lindros. Viewing through a scope, make it easier to pick off. Flick a boogie and fling it at the leader of your squad. I pinpoint at papers. At pinpoint at haters. When the A is Super Saiyan. Probably poo-poo in his pants. Seeing Dookie in the stands. Spitting Uzis at the fans. Rugers at medullas, and I warned you in advance. Your style is generic. You fools should be embarrassed still. You wouldn't rap circle round tracks on a Ferris wheel. Listen to the radio, and all I hear is turn up and murder. These frauds be beefing with veggie burgers. I chef up, I made it one sauce with the womb. I salt, pepper, and saute, chopper rapping 4 ways, places parts in the parquet, then party in his memory. Smack his mean broad, kick the babies of my enemies.
See niggas like me and you, man, fuck that nigga, dude, man. I ain't even done no rap, man. Whatever, dog. That shit is hot. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, very awesome. Very, very awesome.
I want to hear Yidnith and Dookie do a song together for real, like a Steam It funded. We get like Scuzzy and Savo. I'll do some scratches on it. Asan do some little drum work on it and shit.
That
what do you
would
think
be
of that?
Nice.
So we have time limit. So I want to thank you both for attending here, and we'll send you some Whaleshares for that as well. Thank you. So expect those, and then we are heading back to freedom.
Thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on the show, you guys. I feel like I've had one hell of a lesson in music. So it's great. I'm learning stuff. So thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it very much. And thank you for the tunes as well. Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Savo. Another great segment there. So appreciate that. Interesting stuff. Right. We're coming sort of towards the end of the show now. And I'm going to move on to the final segment of the show. Now, we tried this last week, and I'm going to try it again. It's basically community curation, and you're going to basically do what you do in the Promote Your Post show. I'm only going to do 3 or 4 of you, and I'm going to pick on you and see if you've got a post you want to present. Do your 3-minute presentation, and then I want the rest to grade it this week. Not mark it out of 10. I want you guys to grade it A to F. Okay, so you're gonna be the teacher. You're going to assess the post, but I want you to be fair. Okay, I want you to be fair because 10 Beyond Bits rest on this, because the person who gets the highest grades will get 10 Beyond Bits. So I want you to be fair. So I'm going to try this again. I don't want serious posts, I guess. This is more of a light-hearted, casual thing. So nothing too serious, guys, because we don't want to be laughing at serious stuff. So who does actually want to present a post? I'm going to pick on Crystal if she's got one anyway. Crystal, do you have a post or not? JSF, do you have a post? Okay, so Crystal's got one. JSF, do you have a post? JSF, not at the moment. Okay, well, I'm going to start with Crystal, and then I'm going to see how this goes. Why am I seeing all the TARDISs all night long? Is it? Anyway, Crystal, give us your post, and then, as I say, I want the rest of you guys to give this a grade A to F, please. Be fair, though. Let's see what we can do. Crystal, give us your post, and I will unmute you so you can talk about it. This is the community curation segment.
I am so scared again.
Good, you should be.
Okay, everybody, this is my winner announcement for all that contest I did here in last week. There were very great entries, and these are the people that I found. I put links to these great artists. As you can see, Stephen Wood won the grand prize. So I just rewarded Whaleshares. I think it's kind of awesome for all those people that been wanting some Whaleshares before the Whaleshare chain go off. So this gave a little boost. All participants got 10 Whaleshares as a participation reward also. So it's just a way to, help STEMIA musicians, and, a cool, fun thing to do.
Okay, I remember this. You presented this I think on Sunday show, didn't you? But this is the winners of the of your contest, and I'm glad you were doing this because we've seen a lot of in fact, this is a great first one after our music segment because we've got tons of great musicians in the Steamate community who are all aspiring to get to better places, and this is a great contest. So hang on a minute. So Stephen Wood won it, yeah, and Yidnith, both first place.
What it is, I give the prize to whoever found the best artist, because Steven was like the last entry to the contest, but like his comment was as long as a Steamit post, and I was like, wow, that's very passionate about Yidnith, and I was like, I just had to do it to give it to him as the first prize.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, okay. Anything else you want to say about your post before we grade it? Boy Robert's already given you a C, but anything else you want to say?
Just look at all those because each person that Stephen Wood chose Yidnith. I picked all the artists' recent music posts, so support Steamians out there that are trying to make it on this platform. So, I think they do a real good job, and some of them you might never heard of.
That's great what you do. Very, very great. What I must say is that artists really appreciate it when you have a very explained critics on or a comment. Critics is not always appreciated, of course, because it's art actually for us. But I love critics, by the way. But everybody can vote, but real input about the production, that's what artists really want, and that's what it's all about, to improve and to see where you can make something nicer and bigger, So I really thank you for this contest. It's really, really amazing what you do. Yeah.
Well, we're seeing a whole range of grades here from A to Q, now Z. But anyway, guys, there's a B. Finally, someone. Okay. Anyway, guys, please go ahead and, for those of you that haven't, go ahead and grade it. A to F, please. Please try sticking A to F. Do you know what? This was no, not A to Z, A to F. It was a great post, I thought, actually, G minus. Look at these harsh people. I don't know. Anyway, good post, nice post. I quite enjoyed that, actually, because I thought it was a great contest, and I think a lot of people, thought it was a great contest. So, A plus, there we go, getting some A's in here. I'll have to go back over this later, but a whole range of grades there. Okay, thank you very much for that, Crystal. There it is one more time in case people... it's been knocked up by a gift by Boy Robert. A plus again. You're doing all right. You're doing all right, Crystal. I'll say that. But thank you very much for that. Right, I'm going to pick on someone else. I'm going to pick on LCR if he's got a post. I need to unmute him. I think LCR, do you have a post or not?
Hey, what's up, Freedom? Good night, everyone. I mean, good evening.
Yes, well done.
So yeah, I don't have a post myself, but I have a post that I like that from somebody else that I would like to support.
Okay, but bear in mind this isn't the usual curation segment. They're going to be graded. We're a bit harsher because we have high standards for this segment of the show. This isn't the normal promote your post show segment, so we are grading it from A to F. All right.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. Just a second.
And yes, Power Picks, we do. This is honest curation. Can you handle the truth about your post? That's what this segment should be called, really. Michael CJ, I'll come to you in a moment if you've got a post.
Okay, so here is. It's actually one of the last posts of Eve Cap.
No, hang on a minute. This changes everything because we're all going to have to give it A's now.
Well, why does it change everything? Because she's esteeming. She's a part of the community, and to be honest with you, I really like what she did on this on this post that she did, because she put a lot of effort into it, and it's kind of like a little bit not controversial topic, but kind of like a very interesting topic. She made a video about it, and what she did is something that I would have never done, because she has skills for this. She made a video, and she actually contacted other STEAMians around the world and asked them to give her the answers of her questions on the video. And she also asked other local people here that are not necessarily in STEAMing, sorry, but the topic is very interesting. So basically, especially in Latin America, I don't know in your country, guys, but a lot of guys say around like, you have to eat meat, real man eat meat and stuff, It sounds like a vegetarian or vegan type of post, but it's not like that. It's just to prove, some stereotype that is wrong, So she asked these other people that she met on Steemit that don't eat meat, and what do they think about this? Other men, what do they think about this topic? And she asked some questions. What do they think about the statement of real men eat meat? And the answers are very, very really good answers and funny, and she got results on her post pretty cool that I was very impressed about, and a lot of people started to support, and wow, I was like very impressed, of her work, and I know she dedicated a lot of hours into this editing of the video, and I decided to also bring it up here for you guys to check it out, So, thank you. And by the way, I love this new show. It's my first time here. I really like everything I saw tonight, guys, especially the music and stories. Amazing.
Well, thank you very much for that, Elsie. I appreciate the compliment. Glad you're enjoying the new show. Yeah, I mean, I've never really seen a link, to be honest. That's me personally. I eat some meats and not others. I certainly don't attach any masculinity to it, but maybe some other people do. I'm going to have to watch this video later, but I guess there's something maybe more political going on here. I don't know, but I'm not going to get too deep into this one. But interesting. I'm going to have to watch this video later. But guys, I want you to rate it, this post now, because this isn't, A to F, please. You're giving it an A, Power Picks, are you? I second the piece. Okay, E for Savo. Okay, so we've got an A, an E. Guys, rate it A to F, please. What you think about that post, whether you thought it was meritorious, deserving of a higher grade, or not such a higher grade. 6. What's a 6? We've got another A there. That's doing all right so far. It's doing all right. Another A from Woodsy there. Gosh, it is doing all right. Yeah, well, yes, Elsie, I suppose you can. Do you know what? Oh, my Lord, lots of A's coming up. Lots of A's. Okay, all right, okay. Double A, you got 3 A's. Hang on a minute. I am going to watch this Eve Cab. I probably am, Anyway, all right, that seems to be the leading post at the moment. I'm going to do one more. Who was it? Was it Michael CJ? Michael CJ, are you there? Do you have a post? In fact, I'll do 2 more. I've got to be quick, though. Michael CJ, are you there? Do you have a post? I need to see you typing. Just type yes if you've got a post. If not, I shall move on. Michael CJ, you're typing. Have you got a post? Tell us about your post.
Yeah, it's all about my promo STEAM project called STEAM Camp. It's been a long time I came in here, and I really missed you guys so much encouragement throughout last year. And still this year, I'm still promoting STEAM all over Nigeria. And I wrote this post about thinking big and doing big. Big dreams attract big people. Yeah, because when I started this promotion early this year, the Steam price fell down so deep, and so many of my friends was telling me I should just back out and leave the project. I should suspend the project, and I shouldn't use my own personal funds to fund the project. But I saw that as a challenge, and I told myself that I don't just talk what I cannot do. I won't stop the event because of the price of Steam going down. So finally, I've been surviving, and I've been earning. I'm using the earnings to go to 6 good states for auditions. And last month, we camped 70 contestants in one camp for 3 days, and teaching them how to steam, training them in their talents, and for those models, because the event is divided into 2, which is one STEAM stage for talent and Miss STEAM Nigeria pageant. So this event actually gave me a lot of opportunities, just like APIX. APIX gave me the opportunity to promote APIX in Nigeria and Africa. And so many other good things have been coming. I got my personal chat with Donkey Pong, and I believe other things will come. So different between me, I and them is that I never gave up. I had to do the big thing. I had to sacrifice what I had to sacrifice, and now by God's grace, I'm benefiting from it. So that's my message to everybody: do big. Big dreams attract big people. Do big, think big. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. When was this last Steam Camp meetup?
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, that was the pre-camp. I camped over 70 contestants in the one house for 3 days. Now the grand finale is going to be holding place on the 8th of July, which only 40 contestants qualified to the grand finale. So right now I'm preparing for the grand finale. After the grand finale, then I'm done with Steam Camp this year. By God's grace.
Well done, Michael. Good stuff indeed. Okay, all right. You got a couple of B's already. Guys, give me your grades, A to F, please. I think it's I haven't heard actually about Steam Camp lately, but you're pretty involved in it, yeah?
Yeah, I'm the founder of the event.
Okay. Now I'm getting somewhere. Oh wow, a few A's coming up for you there. C and a B. Okay, interesting. Always gives A's to you. Well, that's a bit unimpartial, Doctor Who fan. But okay, all right. So Steam Camp going well, Michael. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going on smoothly. Though I'm having some financial challenge, but I believe from now to the end of this month, I will get all that I need by putting my project on a foundation, and Hyperfunded too has been able to help me, and I look for other supports from different locations.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. This isn't the usual promote your post session, just to let you know. Something a little bit different. We are grading you, but thank you very much for that post, and good luck with everything.
Yeah, I miss you. I miss your voice. I miss everybody. Where's the poetic snake?
Sneki was here before, but she's gone. But you'll have to come to the Sunday show, because that's when the promote your post show is for the proper one. So maybe you can come to that one.
All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for the...
You're very welcome. Right, I'm going to fit in one more, and that is Savo. Savo, have you got a post?
Yeah.
Tell me about your post, and don't forget, it is subject to grading.
Oh yeah. No, this is the Get Record post. It's running again. People can send in music again. We have the second winner we had already. That was Divine with Junk Feathers, and it's about making in a vinyl, a real record with stimulants. And it has to be in a collaboration. So one makes a a song without vocals. There's a is instrumental, and the other one is the singer, and everybody can be that singer and also the producer. But because it's pretty, I'm pretty looking for high quality tracks. That I must say. But people would like to sing. I see a lot of open mic stuff, and this is the chance actually to work with a producer on a record and get on a record, which you will receive as well if you are on it at the end of it. And yeah, you can do with it what you want, but it's all about getting on a real record, and learning and doing stuff.
And if you were rating this post, what grade would you give it?
From A to Z.
A to F.
Oh yeah, sorry. E.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, you know. Else there's nothing to improve, right? I mean,
don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah. I have German blood, you know, so we never say. Yeah, I can also say A+, of course, but
hang on. A+ or E? Which is it?
Nah, E. I'm not. I have always a hard time, you know, writing it down, and the most horrible time in my life was when I had to do the research paper.
When you had to what?
Do my research paper.
Write it. Degree.
To graduate.
Oh, okay. Well, thankfully, we're not talking about your research paper for your degree. Anyway, I think this is a great initiative, and I know you've been doing it a while now. So good luck with it. I think it's certainly not an E. I think it's better than that. But guys, go ahead. For those of you that haven't already graded it, and I know a lot of you already have, PowerPix has given it an L for long. But I think it's a great initiative and a great contest that you do. A couple more A's coming up there. So there's some people who are feeling sorry for you. EveCap's given you an A. Wow.
Yeah, the A deserves. I mean, if you look at it, what content I put into it, then it's A, of course. No single doubt about it. And check, especially the last
Scott's
one.
Giving it a small A. That's interesting.
I did hear some graphic stuff I'm experimenting around with, so for Whaleshares actually to promote. So
oh shit! Hang on a minute. I'm hoping Walrus is lying to me, because is E really a good grade in the States? Because then we're going to have to rethink this. Is he lying? I hope he is. I'm sure the American system is like the British one, A to F, isn't it? Yes, he's fibbing, isn't he? Please tell me he is. Because that means Savo really likes his work. But anyway, okay, all right. I think it's a good post, but thank you very much. I'm going to put it up one more time. Thank you for that, Savo, and thank you to everybody who has helped me decide which one's going to win it, win the 10 Beyond Bits. Thank you for your grading. You all make excellent teachers, so thank you very much for that. And that brings us to the end of the show. It's been a fantastic show again. Oh, it's a kind of different system. We have A, B, C, D, and F or E for excellent. Really? Oh, well, we'll look at that next time anyway. For this system, I took it as A to E. A being good, E being, or F. A being good, F being fucking shit. Anyway, listen, thank you very much for coming to the show tonight. I want to thank you all because it's been another great show. And I also want to particularly thank my contributors who were Chief Mapster, who I know's dashed off because it's his birthday, and to Savo, who did another fantastic music segment. It's been absolutely brilliant. I also want to thank, of course, the special guest, which was the Bug IQ, did a fantastic job. Now, don't forget, guys, DM me. Go ahead, DM me now, your BitShares username, so I can get you all some EasyDex tokens in a short while. I will be distributing them. So go ahead, DM me now, your BitShares username. Here they all come. That's it. go ahead now and do that. And I will get you some EasyDex tokens. And that's what I'm giving out tonight. So enjoy. And I will look forward to seeing you all. I think the next show I do is Sunday. Yes, it is. It's the Promote Your Post show on Sunday. So that is normal post promotion. It isn't grading. It is being a bit nicer to everyone. So that's this Sunday. But fantastic show again, and thank you to everybody who came, because you guys made it, and it's always good to see people and new people and regulars, and you really make the show what it is. So thank you very much to everyone, and until Sunday, have a good few days. Take care, guys.